Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the score was 132-131. The Lakers get the victory at home against the Toronto Raptors. Man, oh man, there's so much to say. So much to say. First of all, Anthony Davis had 41 points on 13 of 17 from the field, 2 of 2 from the three, and 13 of 15 from the free throw line. I think that's what it was. Definitely hit 13 free throws and 13 field goals. 41 points, man, 11 rebounds, several assists. I think he might have had like 6 assists. Uh, and honestly, I thought he could have had so much more because a good portion of the second half, we didn't get him the ball. We just like, and if I really encourage everybody to check out my halftime video. I normally say that, but I honestly think that what I had to say there was probably as important as anything I'm going to say right now. It just simply comes down to us not getting him the ball more, not spamming him enough. Um, and so that's where I want to start. I thought Anthony Davis was fantastic. Obviously, the numbers tell you that. Um, Braun had, I believe, 22 points, 11 assists, a bunch of boards as well. I don't remember exactly how many boards he had, but he was pretty good out there, to say the least. Getting into the paint, taking advantage of the fact that Jakob Poeltl wasn't out there, particularly in that third quarter, just continuing to just drive. So I really appreciated how he was attacking the basketball game, and his defense has been really good too. From what I understand, his on-ball defense is the second most efficient in all of basketball right now, behind Jaylen Brown. So got to give LeBron credit on both sides of the floor. I thought Cam Reddish, even though he had some issues out there, turned the ball over, some really inexplicable turnovers, a couple of them. His three-point shooting was stellar tonight. He hit 4 threes, 4 out of 6, if I'm not mistaken. Got hit in the mouth pretty good, too, by, I believe it was Manuel Quickly, driving at the basket. He was defending him, and Manuel kind of did a swing through with his elbow and caught him in the mouth real good, man. So that was something that gave us a free throw, and boy, did we get quite a few of those. I think we were like 28 or 36 from the free throw line or something like that. This free throw discrepancy is insane. It's absolutely insane. But it was mostly AD getting to the line, and you could see how that was the case because they didn't have a center out there, so they constantly fouled him. But I can tell you right now, it's going to be some very unhappy Toronto fans when they look at the stats and just the fullness of this game. The officiating did not go their way at all. So that's just what I want to say. I know they're not gonna be happy with this one. But the way they executed down the stretch, some of the shots that were hit, Dennis Schroeder's bank shot off the top of the glass, with like 8 seconds or 7 seconds to go, was one of the most spectacular shots I think I've ever seen an opponent hit against us, man. Honestly, one of the most spectacular shots. I mean, you talking about Austin Reeves having his hand up, closing out in the corner. The angle wasn't even, it didn't even look reasonable that that shot would fall. From the angle that he shot it and the way that it banked, it was just unbelievable. Unbelievable, man. And then you consider Pascal Siakam hit a 3 at the buzzer. I mean, we need Anthony Davis to hit every one of those free throws or we lose this game, man. There's no way around it. The way they were executing down the stretch, you would have thought they were Denver or something. They was not, and that's what I want to say even further. It seemed to me all night long the Toronto Raptors were able to score on us rather easily. And if you look at the shooting percentages, we were neck and neck. Over 50% from behind the arc, over 45% from the three, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere hovering around 45% for both teams. Both teams shot very, 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 very well. That kind of thing. Toronto didn't miss much, man. They had 70 points in our paint to our 50. So you could see all those points were made up at the free throw line because they were really just scoring every time they came down. I mean, it seemed to me, we talk about execution, but offensive execution was just spectacular by the Toronto Raptors, man. It seemed to me that all game long, they took advantage of every single possession. That's what it seemed like to me. It's a wonder how we won this basketball game with that team taking care of just about every offensive possession that I saw, man. They didn't miss very much. I'm telling you, our defense was nowhere to be found. Essentially, what I'm trying to say, nowhere to be found, and you can see that in the score. I thought Christian Wood played very well. I don't want to get into other things before I start giving, I want to give people props. Christian Wood was really good with his minutes. I thought Max Christie was really good with his minutes as well. Probably should have got more of them. Torian Prince shot okay. I think he had like 11 points. He was pretty good. And I just think we need to get LeBron and AD into more actions, man. And this is what I was saying in the halftime video. When you consider the fact that we have AD and Bron healthy, and we're barely a 500 ball club now at 19-19 after winning this one, the only reason that is to me is because you're not feeding your strongest attributes to the defense most of the time. You're trying stuff with others and diversifying your offense in ways that just doesn't serve you at all. And then you find yourself in a situation where you're down and AD is going 4 and 5 possessions without touching the ball. And this was one of those nights where even in the second half, as we were making certain shots with other players, you see Torian Prince hit a 3. Like I said, Cam Reddish had it going. So it was hard to complain about it. But even some of those possessions, you say to yourself, now if that doesn't fall, I'm angry because we didn't get the ball to AD. And all we got to do is spam AD, Bron, pick and roll. That's all we need to do when Jakob Poeltl ain't out there. And so for me, it was just kind of strange how difficult we made life on ourselves by the choices we made offensively. And if we didn't have just a phenomenal performance shooting the ball by Anthony Davis, we lose the game. And the only reason why that would have ever even been is because we weren't getting the ball to AD enough. He had 41 points. I legitimately think he probably should have had 65 tonight. I'm not exaggerating at all. When you consider the way the defense was approaching Anthony Davis in that first quarter, and they had no answer for him. They had to put Thaddeus Young on him and stuff like that. They didn't have no answer for him all night long. And he wasn't missing, as you can clearly see. So, while he walked away with 41 points and he did everything we asked him to do, I don't think we asked enough of AD tonight. And that's why we only won by 1 point. And like I said, if you count on Cam Reddish to go 4 for 6 from behind the arc, you know what I mean? Those possessions are not to be relied upon, is what I'm saying. They fail, we're happy, but they're not to be relied upon. I look at all the different possessions that went around. Austin Reeves had 1 for 5 from behind the arc. He was terrible tonight shooting the ball. Terrible really in most areas. He made a clutch 3 down the stretch of the game that we definitely would not have won the game without. But the majority of the time he was throwing possessions away while the Toronto Raptors were connecting on theirs. You see what I'm saying? So we go down brick of 3, they come down, make their shot, whatever they're attempting, it's going in. It's that kind of thing. So it's I saw way too many empty possessions to be going up against such a fantastic executing team. And the only way we win this game is because AD didn't miss from anywhere. Basically, he didn't miss from literally anywhere. Free throws, field goals, 3-point shots, the man could not miss. And so I asked you, why does he only walk away with 17 field goal attempts when he's shooting this well? They have no defense for him. And other guys are cold. Austin was freezing. You see what I'm saying? Freezing for no reason. And so that was my thing tonight. I'm happy we won. It feels like we won. It doesn't feel like we lost. It's not one of them games where it's we won and I think problems. Not necessarily. It's just one of those situations where it's you understand that if you play this game 5 times, you're only going to win it once. You're going to lose 4 times because you're not going to be able to rely upon what actually worked out for you. And if they're shooting that well, you're playing defense that poorly, you're not going to win very much. You need the refs to send you to the line 36 times to beat them by 1. You understand what I'm saying? So it's am I celebrating the win? Of course, we're on a 2-game winning streak. We beat 2 very good teams. But our offensive choices made this game so much more interesting than it would ever need to be. This is a night where Anthony Davis walks away with a career high 70 points because you just keep spamming him and spamming him and spamming him, and they have no answer for him at all, and he's on fire. You see what I'm saying? He got the season high 41 points, but I'm telling you, it shouldn't have been nothing short of 60. Nothing short. And I just wonder if I should be pleased with that, or do I feel like we really left some meat on the bone, so to speak, as it pertains to what we could have got out of Anthony Davis on a night like this. I just think we diversify our offense entirely too much, man. I got way too many shots going to people that are not named Anthony Davis or LeBron James. Too many. And while we shot well, especially in that second half, I can't count on that most nights. I can't count on that. But what I can count on is if I'm going up against a team that doesn't have their center, then Anthony Davis is going to be able to go crazy, especially if he's on fire like he was tonight. We count on that. And when you consider that they hit their last shot at the buzzer, they executed so perfect down the fourth quarter, it was only because AD had the ball in his hands that we were even able to win in this game. So why didn't he have the ball in his hands even more, is what I'm asking everybody. And so that was my problem with this approach. I thought our defense was horrible, and I thought our offensive choices were horrible. I think we were able to get away with it because people were hot. And Anthony Davis was Anthony Davis at his best. The Anthony Davis that we know he's supposed to be. When we complain about how we walk away with 15 points and, he ends a game with 12 points or something like that and we lose, this is why we're so hard on him. Because when he's on, look at this. Look at what he can give us. And you never know when you're going to get this. To this level, it's like, why can't you do this against such and such and such and such and such when we really, really needed it? Just like we really, really needed it tonight and you gave it to us. And like I said, if we didn't do all of the things that you did, we lose. He needed to do all that he did for us to just win by one single point against a team that missed their whole center. They didn't even have a center out there. So that's my thing with this whole situation. I guess it's just a team philosophy thing. We want to diversify. We want to let everybody get their touches. You know what I mean? We do, we're an unselfish offensive team rather. It's important that we get everybody their shots. But to be honest with you, I think that's the problem when you consider how we're constructed with two Hall of Famers and and everybody else's role players. That is the problem. You need to be spamming the AD more and running pick and rolls with Bron and AD more and more and more. And if you were to do that more and more and more, one or two things would happen. Either you'd wear them down or you'd win more games. And so that's what it really comes down to. I'm glad Cam hit those shots. 4 out of 6. I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Christian Wood is who I'm pleased that we got Christian Wood the ball. And he's one of those people who, if AD and Bron ain't shooting, I want him shooting. You know what I mean? I thought D'Lo played pretty well in kind of like afterthought type of minutes he was given. I thought he shot pretty well. He was good. Better coming back from injury. As I said, Max Christie looked good out there. Probably should have had more minutes tonight. So it's not a whole lot to complain about, as you can see with our percentages. We shot very well. Everybody hit shots. But should everybody have been shooting? I guess is the question. I don't know. I don't know if this is the greatest example, given the fact that we won the game, of what it is that I'm concerned about. But in that first half, you consider we gave the ball to AD a million times in the first quarter and then hardly didn't get him the ball at all in the second. And in the third quarter, it was more of the same, but guys were hitting shots, so it was fine. It's like, why isn't he getting the ball? And I check Lakers IG and I check Spectrum Sportsnet IG and I look all over everybody's Laker Instagram, and what I'm seeing is exactly what I'm saying. Get AD the damn ball. Get him the ball. Get him the ball. Get him the ball. Why is everybody else jacking up threes? Why are we jacking threes when AD's down there with a short person on him? Get him the ball in the paint. Let him dunk on their heads a million times in a row, and let's get the hell out of here. I wasn't the only one thinking it. I think all of Laker Nation was wondering, when Jakob Poeltl's not on the floor, Christian Koloko is not on the floor, they don't have anybody that can guard Anthony Davis, fam. Nobody. And you can clearly see that the way he performed tonight. So, to have only won this game by 1 point? Nah, bro. And look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm focused on the offense, but the defense was really, really horrible tonight. It was horrible. They scored on every possession. I think that's the point. We had them looking like Denver out there. Literally. And for all my Laker fans who remember how Denver was in the playoffs when in the last 5 minutes of the game where they don't miss any shots, you got Murray and Porter and all those guys hitting shots. That's kind of how Denver looked tonight, man. And Quickly wasn't even on the floor for the final couple minutes. Thank God he got fouled out. But one thing that I remember saying in the pregame video that stood strong in this game was, now that they have Quickly and Barrett in there, who both went off for over 25 points, if I'm not mistaken. Now you got to be careful when they go to their second unit, because they have a guy by the name of Gary Trent Jr. who's just sitting back there forgotten about. And damn it, was I right, man. He came in there, I think he had like 20 points off the bench, hitting threes left and right. Comfortable threes too, stepping right into them. And it was one of those situations where it was like, that is the point. That is exactly the point. He benefits greatly from Barrett and Quickly coming in, because now a lot of the defense forgot about him. You forgot about him. You got to worry so much about all that other stuff they got in the starting lineup that you forget Gary Trent Jr. is a two-way player that can hit threes all night long. He loves playing against the Lakers. And so he was a big problem out there against us. And so for me, Pascal Siakam hit big shots. Obviously, he's on his way out the door. They're going to be trading him any day now. But, he's trying to keep his trade value up and all of that. So you saw him driving at the rim and getting layups, just executing to perfection. We just made everybody on their team look like they on the Denver Nuggets. That's basically what I'm here to say, man. Our defense had them looking like Nuggets. And in this era, that's a real compliment to their offense and a terrible, terrible disrespect to our defense. So, we won. I'm happy we won. AD was amazing, and he's definitely getting the game ball. Bron was actually very good. 11 assists. I love that. And then LeBron was kind of basically trying to get us going in that third quarter by driving into that weak off defense that they have at the rim without Poeltl. He was kind of the proverbial spanking on the backside of the horse that we needed to kind of get us to understand, attack the middle, attack the middle, attack the middle. So I really thought Bron was key, man. But for me, I just don't think this team came at the Toronto Raptors the right way. It's almost like playing down to the level of your opponent, and you realize they're small, but you don't attack them the way that you need to, so they end up looking bigger than they are, that kind of thing. Defense was awful. It was awful, man. It was absolutely awful. And so that's really what it comes down to, man. Thank God AD had it going. Thank God Cam Reddish had it going. That's really where my head is as it pertains to this basketball game. If them two things weren't in place, boy, would we have lost this basketball game, maybe by a whole damn lot, actually. By a whole damn lot. Thank God the referees were on our side. So a lot of things had to go our way, man. I thought this game was physical. Thought it was played at a good pace, I should say. Both teams shot extremely well. I'd imagine Toronto's not very pleased with their defense. But, yeah, man, we gave up 70 points in the paint, yo. 70 points in the paint to a team with no center. we got to really consider that. We really need to consider that, man. This wasn't it, man. We won the game, but I'm a different type of fan, man, and I could tell you this was not it. We needed the win. We're glad this game ended with us getting the victory. We got Phoenix coming up in the next game who's going to attack us in an entirely different way. So a lot of this shouldn't carry over in any way. If anything, we should just be pleased that we got out of here. But I think we strategized down to the level of the opponent. I really do. I think our entire approach to this game, it started off nice, but we got away from it, diversifying, giving everybody, too much respect. Our own team, too much respect as it pertains to our role players getting all these damn shots that they don't have cachet to be shooting when we're in this situation, to be honest with you. And too much respect to the defense or the offense of their team by not playing better defense, letting them just shoot all over our building and basically connect on every possession there was. So yeah, man, too much respect paid to the wrong places, and most of the time, this game just really was us backing down in a way, proverbial back down basically, as opposed to taking it to them. And so I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to see our team strategize better. I want to see us be a bit more demonstrative about going to things that really genuinely work. And what I think that is Bron and AD pick and roll. If you're not doing that 100 times in a row, you got a problem. My boy Samir, back in the day when I was a kid, he used to get mad at me. He would say, stop cheesing. And what that meant to him was, if you're playing a video game and it's like a Street Fighter or something, and you keep on hitting the same buttons over and over again to where you're throwing a bunch of fireballs at him instead of doing anything else, he would get angry at you. Stop cheesing. But what he didn't understand was, it's the best way to beat you, bro, because you ain't figured out a way to block this. All I got to do is throw fireballs at you. You're going to lose. And, cheesing is equivalent to spamming. Just keep spamming the same thing that works over and over again. Yeah, you're going to frustrate who you're going against, but you also going to beat them. He wanted me to back off, stop doing stuff that worked, and let him beat me. That made him feel better if I diversify a bit more and start doing things that he could defend. I don't have to do that. I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to make you happy. I'm trying to make you a loser. So I cheese. And he gets to say stop cheesing, and I get to walk away a winner. Stop cheesing. No. If you don't like what I'm doing, stop it. And so that's what I got to say, man. We don't do enough of that, man. We don't do enough of that. And given the fact that we have something that literally nobody in this league can stop in the Bron and AD pick and roll, we need to start cheesing. So that's my point of view on it, man. We don't cheese enough. We are giving people, we acting like we got Donovan Mitchell and Steph Curry on our team. We got to make sure they get their shots. This ain't that, Darvin. This ain't that. No, you only got 2 Hall of Famers on your team, and they the ones that need to be leading you to victory. And it's all this diversifying and making sure everybody else gets their touches that ultimately leaves us living and dying with those results. And consequently, these are average players, so you're going to have average results. That's the point. You're 19-19. AD and Bron ain't 19-19 if you're spamming these teams every night. You're going to win more of those games for sure. So that's really what it comes down to. We got these super Hall of Famers on our team, and we got a bunch of role players, and we acting like we got a team like Toronto, where everybody's on the same cachet, and it's like 8 of them. They all need their shots. That's not what we got going on, Darvin. Get AD and Bron the ball all the time, especially when the middle is open. When you're going up against the Golden State Warriors, AD should have 50. You're going up against a Toronto team without Pirtle, he should have 50. Why? Because they can't defend him. They don't have a big. Spam what works. Let them scream at you for cheesing. That's my point of view, man. So I'm glad we won. Thank God everything fell into place. All the role players hit their shots. They all look pretty good tonight. I'm happy they're all getting their looks, and all of this is great. For a win by 1 point, and you're giving up 131 points. I don't know, man. I just view the game a certain way, man. And I'm glad we won, but I know for a fact that you needed all of this to line up just the way it did. And that, my friends, is not how this game should have went when they didn't have Jakob out there, man. Not at all. So that's pretty much my point of view, man. Pleased with the win, but very unhappy with the strategy on both ends. BDL 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.